Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, almost 400,000 government workers are getting furloughed right before the holidays as the federal government shuts down overnight. Plus, if you still have holiday cards to mail out today is the day you need to do it, but it'll cost you extra to make sure it's delivered in time for Christmas. And if you haven't left for your holiday destination yet, you might be driving on some busy roads. We check in on the gas prices before you hit the road.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning, Saturday, 8 o'clock on this Saturday, December 22nd. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris is enjoying some time with his family in Kentucky, so we have Hattie in this morning. Good morning to you.
Thanks for having me, and good morning to you as well.
Yes, weather's not too shabby. Not going to get that white Christmas the way it looks, but
chances for a white Christmas are small, I'll be honest with you. But if you are traveling, the weather looks pretty good. The roads will be busy, but the weather shouldn't slow you down at all. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Skycam. Skies are definitely cloudy this morning across southern Wisconsin, and temperatures have been holding pretty steady over the last 3 to 4 hours. We're at 26 still in Madison, 26 in Platteville, and 26 in the Dells. Here's a look at our wind speeds and directions. Winds are very light this morning, so not much of a wind chill to factor in. Our temperatures over the next 12 hours will climb to highs in the mid-30s today. South winds will stay light this afternoon. Today's probably going to be a pretty busy day on the roads. Let's check those traffic maps to see what's happening in and around Madison. No major delays to report right now in the downtown areas or on the Beltline. And taking a look at the interstate in and around Dane County, looks like travel is pretty good across the area.
Looks like a good day to head off to Grandma's house.
That's true.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
New this morning, the federal government is now in a partial shutdown after Congress failed to reach an agreement on funding before the midnight deadline. Natalie Brand has the latest on what it means from Capitol Hill.
Parts of the federal government shut down at midnight as the White House and lawmakers deadlocked over funding for the president's border wall. Friday night, the House and Senate adjourned until Saturday at noon, leaving about 25% of the government without funding. Money ran out for 9 federal agencies that employ around 800,000 people. Those considered essential, like air traffic controllers, will have to work, but without pay. Nearly 400,000 others will be furloughed. Meanwhile, Senate Democrats and Republicans agreed on Friday night to continue discussions to try and strike a deal. Talks remain focused on billions of dollars President Trump is demanding for his wall along the U.S.-Mexico border.
His wall does not have 60 votes here in the Senate, let alone 50 votes.
Senate Republicans support a measure the House passed on Thursday that provides more than $5 billion for border security, including the wall, but that's been a non-starter for Democrats.
The White House and congressional leaders have been talking since Friday afternoon, but it's unknown at this point what kind of compromise the president would support.
In a video tweet late Friday, Mr. Trump expressed hope for a deal.
Let's work together, let's be bipartisan, and let's get it done. The shutdown hopefully will not last long.
Lawmakers have said they will not return until leaders from both parties reach an agreement the president will sign.
The only path forward is to a bill that has an agreement between the president and both houses of Congress.
At the same time, President Trump continued to push for the wall, tweeting this design, which he called effective and beautiful. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Republican House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy told lawmakers they would be given a 24-hour notice before a vote to end the shutdown. That pushes the reopening of the government until at least late tonight. Well, the shutdown won't affect the U.S. Postal Service, which is good news for those of you who still haven't gotten those Christmas cards in the mail. Here's a live look this morning at the post office on Milwaukee Street on the east side of Madison. They just opened moments ago at 8 o'clock. Today is the last day to get something in the mail in order to make sure it gets to its destination before Christmas, but it will cost you a little extra. The only way to make sure it gets there on time is to pay for overnight priority mail express. Today caps off the busiest week of the year for the Postal Service. By the end of the holiday season, they expect to have processed more than 16 million pieces of mail. To avoid long lines today, USPS officials encourage you to get to the post office as early as possible. New overnight, the Dane County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fatal crash in the town of Medina. It happened around 1:15 this morning on Langer Road off of County Highway T. Investigators say the vehicle was traveling southbound and failed to make a 90-degree turn. The vehicle crashed into a power pole and went up in flames. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the lone occupant died at the scene. That person's name will be released once family has been notified. The cause of that crash is still under investigation this morning. It will be a busy day on the roads as a record-breaking 112.4 million Americans are expected to travel this holiday week. AAA says that's nearly a 4.5% increase over last year. More than 1/3 of all Americans will be traveling. It's the highest number since AAA has been tracking holiday travel. An improving economy and cheap gas prices are the main reasons AAA expects more people to be out there traveling. Here in Wisconsin, a gallon of regular is at about $2.15 this morning. Prices are even lower in Madison with an average of $2.13, but prices as low as $2.07 per gallon depending on where you stop. Traffic in Madison during the holidays may not be as bad in the future if the DOT gets its way. They're proposing opening the shoulder on the Beltline to drivers during rush hour and other busy travel periods. According to the DOT, it would cut down on traffic by 40%. Officials say the concept is currently used in 17 states and is recognized as an environmentally responsible and cost-effective traffic management practice to alleviate congestion.
I mean, there's crazier scenarios where you got other states, other countries that are, have overpasses over tons of houses and all kinds of stuff. So I feel like anything you can do to help alleviate traffic and congestion is good for everybody, right?
The DOT will start work with state, local, and federal authorities to see if the idea is possible. If all goes to plan, the shoulder could be open as early as 2021. 8:05 this morning, a lawmaker from Sun Prairie wants to change state law following the deadly explosion in downtown. Representative Gary Hebel says he wants to more closely examine the construction processes where utility lines are marked. Investigators say a natural gas line wasn't completely marked and was struck by a contractor, causing that explosion. Police say it was the result of miscommunication between several companies, a situation Hebel believes could have been prevented.
Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. Safety has always got to be number one. And in this case, expediency overtook safety, and as a result, we lost a wonderful firefighter, Cordy Barr.
No criminal charges were filed in the explosion, but Abby Barr, the widow of the firefighter who died, and 2 firefighters who were injured, have filed lawsuits against companies they say were involved. After a long dispute with the city of Madison, the Taco Bell Cantina on State Street will be receiving its liquor license after all. A Dane County judge ruled in favor of the restaurant in a lawsuit. The Flynn Restaurant Group owns Taco Bell and wanted Taco Bell Cantina to have a full-service liquor license. However, Madison Mayor Paul Soglin vetoed the license last year. Soglin has proposed a liquor license moratorium for all new restaurants in the State Street area as a way to lower drinking-related crimes. The Flynn Restaurant Group released a statement saying it looks forward to offering beer and wine at the State Street location. Taco Bell Cantina opened on State Street a year ago. In Rock County this morning, officials are looking for the person responsible for dumping more than a dozen windows on Janesville's west side. Police reported nearly 15 windows being dumped in a residential area last weekend, and city operations officials were forced to clean up the debris. Operations Superintendent Cameron Nash says illegal dumping like this is both wasteful and dangerous.
It's a drain on city resources when we're dispatched to have to go clean it up, and it's also dangerous. These windows, there was a lot of broken glass that was in the street and could cause property damage or it could injure someone.
Nash says it's not often dumping takes place in residential areas like this. She encourages anyone with information to contact the Janesville Police non-emergency line. This morning, members of the Janesville community are also demanding answers from the YMCA of Northern Rock County. More than 50 community leaders signed a petition sent to the board of directors yesterday. A letter to the board sent out this week says multiple people had their memberships revoked without warning. Paul Murphy is one of those people and says he's worried that if the board goes unchecked, the same thing could happen to more people.
I think there have been some average Joes who experienced what I did on December 3rd when I received an email from the executive director that my membership was being reviewed and I was not allowed to go on the YMCA property.
Murphy says he's also concerned about 3 members who were removed from the board without a vote, something he says is directly against the bylaws of the organization. The CEO of the YMCA Northern Rock County did not return our calls. An update to a story News 3 first brought you earlier this week. A fundraiser in the Madison Metropolitan School District has now collected enough money to pay off all school lunch balances that were in the negative. The fundraiser collected more than its original $25,000 goal. All of that money will go toward paying off the free and reduced price school lunch balances for more than 1,500 students in the district. More than 700 people donated to the fundraiser after it was posted on Facebook. School officials say the donations aren't just a holiday season initiative. People can help pay off those lunch balances year-round by contacting the district. 9 minutes past the hour right now, and here's a heads up if you or anyone in your family is planning to go out onto the ice this weekend. Lake Mendota is no longer considered to be completely frozen. The Wisconsin State Climatology Lab initially ruled Lake Mendota to be frozen over last Saturday, but that status lasted less than a week. They released an update Friday saying parts of Madison's largest lake had thawed during a week where we saw temperatures in the 40s. It's the first time since 2002 where the lake has thawed and had to refreeze during the winter. Once it freezes again, it'll be just the 7th time that's ever happened. 8:10 is your time right now, and it's the first full day of winter, and it's going to be feeling a little bit more like it out there. There's a live look outside. There's Lake Mendota, as we were just talking about. You can see a little bit of ice, but yeah, some open water out there. Addie's tracking your holiday weekend travel forecast coming right up. And later on, there are several shows and movies for you and the family to enjoy on this weekend before Christmas. Will has a special version of 3 Things to Watch. Thanks for waking up with us on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. Kind of a gray start to this Saturday morning, but pretty quiet conditions expected through the weekend, right into the start of next week and the Christmas holiday. Take a peek at high temperatures yesterday. We hit in the mid-30s, and it's going to be pretty similar through the day today. High temperatures should be in the low to mid-30s across southern Wisconsin. A look at the radar map around here, and it's been pretty quiet so far this morning. While you may see a few flurries here and there, we are seeing a little bit of light flurry activity now in the northern part of the state. A big storm system that has been impacting the northeastern part of the country for the last day or so is finally moving offshore. So things should improve in the northeast today. That should make travel a little bit easier there. But back to the Midwest. Relatively quiet conditions through the weekend. There is a storm system tracking across the U.S.-Canadian border, and it is generating a little bit of light snow to the north, but you can see the cloud cover from this system is pretty extensive. We don't have a good chance for a lot of sunshine through the day today. It looks like these clouds are going to stay put. When you look at the temperature map, though, no real areas of extreme cold air on the map. It is 14 right now in International Falls, and while that's pretty chilly, it's typically colder than that up to the north this time of the year. So we're a little bit warmer than we usually are. 26 here in Madison with the clouds in place, 26 in the Dells, 28 in Janesville this morning. A little bit of a southeasterly wind early today, about 5 miles an hour, so not generating much of a wind chill. If you're wondering what it feels like outside, it feels like low 20s in most spots. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. And again, an outside chance for some flurries today. Otherwise, just mostly cloudy skies with highs generally in the middle 30s, right around 35 again here in Madison. Heading into this evening, still cloudy, a chance for flurries or maybe even a little bit of freezing drizzle overnight. On Sunday, had to add a chance for flurries into the forecast Sunday as well. It'll be breezy with a northwesterly wind, highs still in the 30s. That extended forecast has chances for flurries up into Christmas. Monday night into Tuesday, still that chance for some flurries. So not a real good chance for a white Christmas around here. We are watching the potential for a larger storm system for the middle of next week. So if you have travel plans after the Christmas holiday, you want to keep up with the forecast. It's likely going to change between now and then. Right now it looks like rain and snow will be possible.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
8:16 is your time this morning. A lot of us have our favorite Christmas movies like A Christmas Story, The Grinch, and some even consider Die Hard 1 too. Our film critic Will Loper shares some of his holiday favorites in this morning's 3 Things to Watch.
Christmas is all around me, and so the feeling grows.
Celebrate Christmas with the most star-studded romantic holiday film ever, Love Actually.
Yeah, almost finished.
Almost finished? What else can there be? You're going to dip it in yogurt?
Who knows? We're going to pop it in the Christmas box.
But I don't want a Christmas box.
But you said you wanted it gift wrapped.
I did, but...
This is the final flourish.
Can I just pay?
All we need now...
Oh, God.
Is a sprig of holly.
No bloody holly.
Hugh Grant, Keira Knightley, Liam Neeson, and many, many more star in the multi-story tale of love around the holidays.
You know the thing about romance is people only get together right at the very end.
Of course.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Right. Thank you.
Love Actually is out everywhere now on home video.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Next, have that age-old debate with friends and family about whether or not Die Hard qualifies as a Christmas movie.
Who are you, then?
Just a fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench.
Bruce Willis stars as John McClane, who must save a group of hostages, including his wife, from terrorists. Die Hard is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
9 million terrorists in the world, and I gotta kill one with feet smaller than my sister.
That's it. I forgot to close the garage, that's it.
No, that's not it.
What else could we be forgetting?
Kevin!
Finally, any travel plans this holiday should always include making sure not to forget your child, like in the Home Alone films.
I made my family disappear.
Macaulay Culkin stars as Kevin McAllister, who must defend his home from the wet/sticky bandits using some admittedly harsh tactics. Like that. That may have been overkill, Kevin.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
The first 2 Home Alone films are available to rent or buy everywhere now.
What else did you do while we were away?
Just hung around.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
8:19 this morning. The Packers have one last chance to earn a win on the road this season. We'll preview tomorrow's game. And in the season of giving, we'll show you how some members of the Pack are doing their part in giving back to the community. The news is back in the morning on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. We're starting with cloudy skies here across southern Wisconsin. A few bands of light snow working their way through the northern part of the state this morning. Outside of a few flurries, though, really no precipitation in our forecast today. Temperatures are still in the mid-20s thanks to some cloud cover overnight. It's a little bit cooler to the north, not much though. 19 in Rhinelander and 20 in Wausau. Here in Madison and southern Wisconsin, we'll climb to highs in the mid-30s this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies. A chance for a few flurries. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 26. Some freezing drizzle or flurries will be possible. It's just a slight chance though for precipitation tonight. Still a chance for flurries on Sunday. It'll be a little windy as well with a high of 35. Relatively quiet, though, through the Christmas holiday, with a larger storm impacting the area for the middle of next week. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you. 8:24 right now. The Packers are still looking for their first win away from Lambeau Field this season. They have one last chance tomorrow against the 4-10 Jets in New York. But closer to home, it's the season of Give Me, and members of the Packers are doing their part to give back to the community. Linebacker Blake Martinez and his wife Christy teamed up with Ashley Home Store and Appliance Mart to give out a total of 50 mattresses across the state, including 4 families in the Green Bay area. The goal is to give the mattresses to families who don't have one to sleep on at night or may have to share beds with other family members.
I'm excited. We got an extra bed, so, nobody's crammed in and everybody's comfortable here.
I love this story. Martinez says he wanted to give back to the community that's made him feel so welcome during his time with the Green and Gold. This is the second time the Martinez family has partnered with Ashley Home Store and Appliance Mart. The first time was in November when 50 families received Thanksgiving meals. The Wisconsin men's basketball returns to the Kohl Center later this morning for the first time in more than a week. The 16th ranked Badgers will host Grambling with a tip time of 11 a.m. The Tigers come to Madison with a record of 6-6. This will be the last time the Badgers play at home before the new year. If you can't make it down to the Kohl Center, you can catch the game on the Big Ten Network. 25 minutes past 8 o'clock right now, and there's more real news ahead this morning. We'll have the latest on the day's top stories just ahead, including the impact of that partial government shutdown from overnight. And we'll tell you why the future of a Madison nightclub is up in the air after a controversial incident there. Keep watching News 3 This Morning Saturday. Right now, the Verona Fire Department's assistant chief is stepping down after more allegations of poor leadership and violence in the department.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 8:30 on this December 22nd. I'm Josh Breiter. Hattie has the latest holiday weekend forecast in a moment, but first, here's what's making news this morning. The federal government is once again shut down after Congress failed to get a funding deal done before the midnight deadline overnight. About a quarter of the government is being shut down until lawmakers can come to a deal. Those considered essential, like air traffic controllers, will have to work without pay. Almost 400,000 other workers will be furloughed. Negotiations are continuing over the billions of dollars President Trump is demanding for a border wall along the Mexico border. The shutdown will not affect the U.S. Postal Service. Today is the last day to get something in the mail in order to make sure it gets to its destination before Christmas, but it will cost you a little extra. The only way to make sure it gets there on time is to pay for overnight Priority Mail Express. Today caps off the busiest week of the year for the Postal Service. By the end of the holiday season, they expect to have processed more than 16 million pieces of mail. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is still recovering in the hospital this morning after having a surgery to remove 2 malignant growths from her left lung. It's Ginsburg's third bout with cancer since she joined the court in 1993. The court says doctors found no evidence of disease elsewhere in the body and no additional treatment is currently planned. The growths were found during tests Ginsburg had after she fractured her ribs in a fall on November 7th. Now we'll send it over to meteorologist Hattie McLean with a look at your forecast, and really a good weekend for travel, Hattie.
It really is. If we're not going to have a white Christmas, at least we'll have quiet weather for travel. Take a look at our current conditions. It's chilly outside this morning, making more ice on Lake Mendota as we speak. 26 degrees here in Madison. Winds are light from the southeast, around 5 miles per hour. So that does send that wind chill down to 21. Winds are not going to be a huge factor in the forecast, though, today. They'll stay light. Temperatures are about 5 degrees colder than they were this time yesterday. You can see that across the area. The numbers have been pretty consistent over the last couple of hours, not moving much. 26 in the Dells here in Madison. Janesville still at 28, as is Mineral Point. Over to the west in Prairie du Chien, you're starting at 26 degrees. Now, as you get ready to head out the door this morning, plan on temperatures climbing slowly through the day. We're into the low 30s by lunchtime, and that's pretty much where we'll stay through the afternoon, topping right around 35 degrees at about 3 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies today. Just a few flurries. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps across southern Wisconsin and the Madison area this morning. Starting to see a little bit of volume pick up in the downtown areas, but travel on the Beltline and all the major routes into the city looking good right now. No accidents to report either on the interstate. So good news if you're traveling today.
All right, Hattie, thank you. It is just about 8:32 this morning. A recent incident at Plan B nightclub is sparking controversy online. Now the future of the Madison club remains uncertain. Jamie Perez shows us how performers and the club are responding.
At a drag show last weekend at Plan B, drag queen performers claim they were told not to use the changing room and bathroom to prepare for their show. They say managers told them to change in their cars or come already dressed.
Well, that's not safe at all. I mean, you can't have, guys dressed as women changing in the parking lot in the freezing cold.
Bianca Lynn Breeze is a show director, but she stepped down from her position this weekend, saying this was the final straw. She, along with other performers, took to social media to express their anger over what happened last weekend on top of other issues that were brought to light that have spanned over recent years.
This should have been taken care of months ago. You guys should have known. Communication wasn't relayed. I guess with 3 owners, communication can go anywhere.
From the response on social media, other performers have also said they're done performing at the nightclub, including Regina Lynn Taylor.
Once I started hearing allegations of people being served underage, the mistreatment of people of color within the bar, people harassing, or the owners harassing their own patrons and employees, I knew that as a queen in my own morals, I didn't want to represent a bar that was no longer a safe place for not only performers, but for the queer community in Madison.
None of the owners at Plan B responded to our request for comment, but on their Facebook page, they posted this response saying, in response to the recent conversations circulating about Plan B, we are saddened to see a number of people upset with some of the directions Plan B has taken. A few weeks ago, we were contacted by City Inspector's office that the upstairs, which is used by our performers, could no longer be used, indicating that the use of the changing room must come to an immediate halt. The closure of our changing room was necessary to keep our space open and safe for all. The use of the upstairs would result in serious fines against Plan B, which Plan B is not able to sustain. Our understanding was that all drag queens had been informed. We are deeply sorry that our performers, as well as the larger drag community and allies, were offended by this serious miscommunication.
That was Jamie Perez reporting. The two people shown in that interview said they would no longer support a club that they feel doesn't support their community. Verona's Assistant Fire Chief Don Catenacci is resigning amid claims of mismanagement and new allegations of violence in the workplace. The local firefighters 311 union first requested an investigation into the Verona Fire Department's leadership back in November. But since those results were released, the new allegations surfaced. The union claims the assistant chief attacked a firefighter.
He came up from behind one of our firefighters and performed a headlock maneuver from behind to the point that the firefighter couldn't even breathe.
Union leaders said that pending the results of the investigation, they believe Catenacci could see criminal charges. In his resignation letter, Catenacci didn't mention the incident, but said his resignation stems from a lack of support from the mayor and council for him, the fire chief, and other firefighters on the root cause of the problems at the department. The Lodi Public Library will be reopening the day after Christmas. It has been closed since December 12th when mold damage was found during a remodel of the basement. A professional mold removal team was hired immediately to address that issue. They say the most recent air quality tests came back clean. What is the season of giving? And while a lot of us give presents over the holidays, some of us may end up giving the flu. We are about to reach the peak of flu season, and with holiday travel, your risk of exposure is heightened. We've had a mild flu season so far, but as we approach this busy holiday travel time, the flu can spread. Doctors say getting your flu shot is the safest way to prevent getting it, but keeping up with hand hygiene is the best way to prevent spreading it, especially for kids.
For every kid that gets influenza, we anticipate that 5 or 6 other people in their immediate surroundings are fairly likely to also be at least exposed to it.
Health experts say it's never too late to get the flu shot. Flu season actually peaks within the next couple months. Hugging and touching when you see your relatives is common during the holidays, but doctors recommend a fist bump to greet people as a way to prevent the spread of the flu. 8:36 right now, looking for something to do this weekend? We've got some ideas for you and the family coming up in your Weekend 608. But first, we're talking about some of the biggest holiday blockbusters when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s this morning across southern Wisconsin. We're right at 26 here in Madison and Watertown, as well as the Dells, 26 in Monroe as well. Wind chills are a little bit colder, but not much. Upper teens and low 20s early today. Here's a look at your day planner temperatures. We're only going to climb a few degrees today, back into the mid 30s this afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies will be the rule. If you are traveling tomorrow, look for a breezy day, a stronger northwesterly wind, a few flurries as well with a high of 35. Flurries again possible late Monday into Tuesday morning. Temperatures then warm up a little bit with a storm system moving in for the middle of next week. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, we will try. Thank you. The holiday weekend is probably a good time to take the family out to a movie or even maybe even watch some of the classics. Joining us this morning to talk about what's playing is Tom Reichelt, the general manager of the Marcus Point Cinema here in Madison. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
So this is kind of the time of year you kind of get into those big holiday traditions when it comes to movies.
Yeah, it sure is. It's about the family tradition, and we just sent out a big, through our Magical Movie Rewards program, we set up a kind of a really a great communication to say, hey, what do you guys usually want to do? 4,500 people came back and said, we go to movies, or 72% came back and said, we love to go to movies. Family tradition.
And when it comes to those traditions, obviously you have these classic movies that people always like to enjoy.
Yeah, The Grinch, Rudolph, Elf, Christmas Story, just, some of these that we've seen since we were kids and people watch to this day.
So what can people check out in your theater right now?
Well, right now we have Aquaman coming out. Just came out, just a fantastic visual, especially in our PLF, our big screens. And we have Mary Poppins Return, Bumblebee on Christmas Day, Holmes and Watson's Vice opens up.
So this is the time of year where a lot of people, like you mentioned, kind of that tradition. And a lot of times people will come in over the Christmas weekend and New Year's weekend to come in and enjoy your guys' movies.
Yeah, so what we have is Tuesdays. We're known for our $5 Tuesday program. And it happens to fall on the two busiest days of the year for us. So on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, all movies are $5. So it's a tremendous value for us, and we're really excited to share that with all of our guests.
I know it's kind of cool. I've seen a lot of people, and families and friends that have kind of made it a tradition to actually go to the movies on Christmas Day. Do you see it kind of filling up that day?
Yeah, I mean, advance sales are brisk, make no mistake about it, but you can go online at marcustheaters.com, reserve your tickets, know that you have your seats, and really be able to, feel less stress when you get there.
What is it like to be able to kind of be a part of that tradition for a lot of families? Obviously, a lot of people coming home for the holidays, too.
Well, our job is to really make sure that we help create some great memories. At Marcus Theaters, we believe in, magical movie memories. So we're part of that, and then it's tradition. It's a really fun feeling, and it really is a festive feeling, and it's great to be part of that.
And talk a little bit about what you guys are featuring at your theaters. I know this is one of them down here. You got a specialty drink, if we could get a close-up on that.
Yeah, so what we're doing now is we really try to have a flair now. We have Take 5 lounges, and this is a Kahlua cookie drink with Kahlua, Jameson, rum chata, with a full cookie in there, and just really fun and exciting stuff that you can pair with a regular popcorn and soda. And now that we have all the bistros and Take 5 lounges, we have so many things to offer that really makes it a real experience to go to Marcus Theaters.
It's amazing how much the movie theater experience has changed, even within the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, it sure is. It's really an experience, and the Marcus Theaters in Madison, we're just really proud to have been able to give that to all of our guests.
Well, if people are interested in kind of coming up with that plan right now for Christmas or New Year's, how can they kind of reach out to get some more information?
Sure, so please visit www.marcustheaters.com. You can find showtimes, films, or call your local movie theaters, and we'll be happy to answer any phone call necessary.
All right, well, thank you for coming in. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You also, thank you very much.
And happy movie watching and happy drinking. Look at
Fantastic.
that. That looks great.
Enjoy.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a good weekend to hit the movies. Let's take a live look outside right now on this Saturday morning. Hattie is tracking that holiday weekend travel forecast coming right up. But first, happy birthday to Quinn and all of the other kiddos turning 3 today. We thank you for celebrating with us on News 3 this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. The birds are definitely busy outside this morning. We have pretty quiet conditions weather-wise, though. Not a whole lot to talk about around here. There is some light snow affecting the northern part of the state with a storm system that's tracking right across the U.S.-Canadian border. We may see a few flurries from that system, but that's about it. Take a look at the current snow depth. A lot of people talking about the lack of a white Christmas here across southern Wisconsin, and our warm temperatures that we've had over the last week have really eroded that snowpack across the Badger State. Now just a couple of inches left on the ground to the north. If you're looking ahead to Christmas Day, here's your weather planner. There is a chance for some snow Christmas morning. Temperatures will start out in the middle 20s, climbing to highs only in the low 30s during the afternoon. We're likely to see quite a few clouds through the day on Tuesday. And the GFS snow potential map through Tuesday at 6 p.m. is indicating a chance for a little bit of snow across the southern part of the state. Now keep in mind, this forecast model has been flip-flopping back and forth over the last couple of days. It happens to be on again with the snow here for southern Wisconsin, but this forecast may change a little bit as we close in on Tuesday. Here's a look at the longer range model. Again, starting Monday night, showing you that chance for a little bit of snow heading into Tuesday morning, but after that, we're turning our attention to a larger storm system that will likely impact the Midwest Wednesday through Friday timeframe. So if you have travel plans after Christmas, pay close attention to the forecast. It's likely going to change between now and then, but some area of the Midwest will experience impacts from this storm. And we may see rain here in southern Wisconsin, but that will change to snow in the northern part of the state. As the storm system wraps up and heads on out, we may see a little bit of snow on the backside heading through the day on Friday. Here's a look at our weather track map right now. It's pretty quiet, although the clouds are extensive across the region. We may see a few holes in the cloud cover this afternoon, but they'll be pretty short-lived. Clouds are going to be the rule today. Here's a wider view of the travel map. No delays right now as that storm system in the northeast moves on out, which is good news. Travel weather actually looking pretty good today. We need to play catch-up after the last couple of days. There's just some rain in the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of lingering snow in the northeast. Here across the central part of the country, things will remain pretty quiet. No real surges of cold air on the map right now, so temperatures in the 20s this morning, climbing to highs in the 30s this afternoon. 35 in Fort Atkinson as well as Evansville, 34 in Monroe today. To the west, if you're in Mineral Point, you're looking at a high of 35. Platteville will reach a high of 34. A little bit cooler to the north. Baraboo and Montello topping at 31 degrees. Now, here's a look at your extended forecast. We have breezy conditions tomorrow in the area. Still mid-30s, but it'll probably feel colder with that northwesterly wind. Chances for flurries through Christmas Day, then rain and snow back in the forecast as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. Here's our pet walk forecast, though. This is Presley. Got the antlers on, all geared up, ready to go. Not a bad day for a walk today. We're still in the mid-30s.
He definitely looks excited for the season.
Yes.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and check out this photo Bud emailed us earlier this week. He calls this daybreak at Devil's Lake. Looks like there was some snow there. Don't know how much more snow is there now after all those 40s we saw this week, but thank you so much for sharing, Bud. I love that picture. If you'd like to share your morning, take a picture, post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, Twitter, or Instagram, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. And that's how we can pick out our favorites and air them right here on the show. Well, it is the weekend in the 608, and here's a look at what's going on in and around the Madison area. If you're one of those people waiting until the very last minute to buy those Christmas gifts, you can pick something up from local crafters. Winter Wonderful started Monday and runs through today. It's a collaboration between the Madison Makers Market and Commonwealth Development. More than 20 participating makers are giving a quarter of their sale proceeds to Commonwealth, which will help provide affordable housing, space for small businesses, and job training. You can find Winter Wonderful at Commonwealth on South Baldwin Street between East Wash and Willie Street. There's one last chance to get down to the Dane County Farmers Holiday Market this weekend. The last market of the season runs from 7:30 until noon today at the Monona Terrace. Then starting next weekend, the late winter market begins at the Madison Senior Center on West Mifflin. That includes the Taste of the Market breakfast made from products the farmers bring to that market. Those breakfasts run every Saturday starting next weekend from 8:30 to 11 or until they sell out. The latest in a series of parodies of the Bartell Theater continues this weekend, this time with a Star Wars theme both kids and adults can enjoy. Star Wars: The Panto Strikes Back has 2 shows today at 2 and 7 and another matinee tomorrow at 2. The show promises plenty of corny humor, silly songs, and lots of opportunities to cheer the heroes and booing the bad guys. Again, you can find that this weekend at the Bartell Theater on East Mifflin. And Guys on Ice is celebrating its 20th anniversary with shows running the next 2 weekends. Marvin and Lloyd make the case for fish as the miracle food and snowmobile suits as the pinnacle of fashion. The show started in 1998 in Door County and has since sold out across the state. If you've never seen the show or want to see it again, you can catch it at the Barrymore tomorrow at 2:30 or 7:30, or today rather, and then again tomorrow. And as always, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. 8:53 right now. Hattie will have an updated look at that holiday weekend travel forecast just ahead. Be sure to stick with News 3 this weekend. On our news at 10 tonight, we'll catch up with a mail carrier as the busiest week of the year for the Postal Service comes to a close. That's tonight on News 3 at 10. But first, News 3 This Morning Saturday will return in a moment. Blah. Welcome back at 8:56. Kind of disappointed I brought out the new Christmas tie, and it's supposed to play a little Christmas tune, but it's not working.
Oh, it's not working this morning?
Not working.
Oh, it's kind of like those Christmas lights that are always malfunctioning, right?
Yes, they never work when you want them to, right?
That's right. Well, it was nice to work in the light today, even though going outside right now really doesn't feel that light outside. We have a lot of clouds in the area this morning. Here's the view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Cloudy skies in Platteville as well as here in Madison. Temperatures today are going to be slow to warm up with the clouds, but a light southerly wind will help a little bit. We'll climb into the mid-30s this afternoon. Just a few flurries in our forecast today. Here's a look at our extended forecast. It's actually pretty quiet through the Christmas holiday. We have chances for flurries each day, but that's about it. Otherwise, as we head into next week, all the meteorologists are watching and keeping their eye on that storm for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. There will likely be some changes to the forecast, but keep in mind that that storm will impact travel somewhere around the area after Christmas. So if you're traveling then, keep up on the forecast.
At least we could get to Christmas. It's just after we have to worry about.
Yeah, maybe coming home from Grandma's house might be a little tricky.
I'd rather get stuck at Grandma's than not be able to make it.
That's true. She's got cookies.
Yeah, there you go. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone, and thanks for hanging out with us, Hattie.
No problem.
We'll see you again tomorrow morning from 6:30 to 8. Make it a great day, everyone.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.